Welcome in Karibuni to Aroma of Zanzibar. Today I am going to make something very special, a favorite of mine, and that's a Salisbury steak. I'm going to start browning my flour. This is all-purpose flour, and this is for the gravy. I like my gravy dark. Okay, so you don't have to do this if you don't want. I've got my heat on medium, and this process took about 15 to 20 minutes. All right. My main ingredients is ground beef. That's about 1.5 pounds, which is 680 grams. I've got fresh ginger and garlic cloves. I also have some black pepper and some salt. I have whole dried thyme. I also have Worcestershire sauce. I have some eggs and I have some breadcrumbs. All right. So I'm going to make a nice fine paste of my fresh ginger garlic, and I added 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of dried thyme. And that's it. So we're ready to add this to the ground beef, which is 90% and 10% fat, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper and 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce and 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs. And I'm also using 1 egg. Now for this recipe, you could flavor your steak however you like it with any kind of ingredients that you like. You don't have to use the same thing that I'm using, but I like to keep it very simple for this recipe. So we just want to mix it well, combine it. It's a very simple meal, very filling though. Okay, so now I'm ready to shape this. And I like to use this big spoon simply because it's easy, gives me the exact size and shape. And I get about 6 large, kind of medium large. Okay, I mean it's enough for an adult, even for a child who has a good appetite, that should be fine. Okay, so we're just gonna make a couple of these. This is my to-go meal when I want to have something special, yet very simple. I don't need to go to a fancy restaurant to make something like this. All right, so we're gonna make this, and then after we're done, we get ready for this for the gravy. Now for the gravy, I'm gonna be using mushrooms and onions. You don't have to use both if you're not comfortable, or just use whatever you prefer, either onion or mushrooms, or you can have both. All right. So for my sauce, gravy, I've got my flour there, peppercorn, salt, onion, butter. I've got olive oil, I've got beef stock, and I've got some mushrooms. I'm going to start with, I've got it on medium heat first. I have my butter. I like to mix butter with olive oil because butter has a high saturation point and it does tend to burn very easily, and you don't want to burn this. I just want to caramelize them. Okay, so we're going to sweat them for a while. Okay, to remove all the moisture. And once that's done, as you can see, you keep continuing. This is kind of a long process, so you need to have some patience and don't get your heat high because it's going to burn your onions. Okay, so this is about like 15 minutes. Then after that, I add my flour. Now you don't have to brown your flour. You can have it white if you want. I like my gravy brown, and also it's got a nice taste to it. And then I add 2 cups of beef stock. You can use wine for those of you who want to use alcohol. You can go ahead and use a little wine to, at this point. And then I'm going to simmer this for about 15 to 20 minutes. And while that's happening, we're going to start grilling the steaks. And if you don't have a grill like this, you can use a frying pan. That should work too. So it's on medium high. And I like to just cook them for like 5 minutes on each side based on this thickness. But then if you're gonna have it thicker than this, then you may need to grill them for a little longer. Okay, So my gravy is almost ready, and then I just crushed the peppercorns. I don't like to use powder one. I like to use crushed peppercorns for sauces or gravies, and then maybe a quarter teaspoon of salt. And I also like to use HP sauce or steak sauce just to have that little bit of tanginess in my gravy. So about a teaspoon, I think so. This is optional. You don't have to use this, okay? So don't. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, my meat is almost ready, but you can see a little bit of redness in it, but it's okay because I'm going to cook this further in my sauce. All right, so once the steaks are done, we're just going to dump them in here, soak them rather, and let them simmer for about 5 to 10 minutes until all the sauce really gets inside the steaks. And that's about it. This is a very simple, very fulfilling meal. And now I'm ready to plate. So we've got our steaks. They look pretty dark, but I think it's because of the lights. It wasn't that dark at night. I think it was about 5 o'clock in the evening. And I love my gravy to be dark. So if you don't want gravy to be dark, you don't have to brown your flour, okay? Or even if you don't want caramelized onions, you don't have to caramelize your onions too. So, but you're missing a lot of flavors. You'll be missing a lot of flavors. So anyway, now we're just gonna garnish it with some parsley, and I'm serving this with mashed potatoes. You can do it with rice, you can do it with pasta or French fries, whatever. Okay. And we got our steak over there and some nice sauteed green beans in garlic. And I've got glazed carrots, and my meal is complete. So thank you so much. For more recipes, please visit me at Aroma of Zanzibar. You'll find all the ingredients and the measurements in the description box below.